You're listening to the SNL podcast. I'm your host, some guy named Jay. That's just who I am, just some guy named Jay. And what I want to talk about in this installment of the SNL podcast is the queen of talking out of pocket, Victoria Jackson. And she's at it again, saying some things that I know is going to piss some people off. I got this article at the Huffington Post. You know me, like I see the little things on the Huffington Post and the things that are trending, and if I see a former SNL cast member in it, I'm gonna click it, to see what they're talking about. And let's see, and you know about Todd Aiken making those controversial statements about rape and abortion and things like that, and we all know, he's you all know that that's not true, what he's saying. Okay, but Victoria Jackson, she kind of, I'm going to read some of the statements that Victoria said. And you know what? I just want to say this before I even pull this article up. Victoria Jackson, this is the funniest she's ever been. I've seen her do stand-up, and all that, and I've also seen her on Saturday Night Live. I think in the cast that she was in, she was kind of the weakest link. But I thought she was still good, though, and I'm gonna actually defend that later. Not in this one, but later on, I'm gonna actually talk about the cast that she was in and my thoughts on her, because a lot of people were kind of harsh on Victoria Jackson. But I thought I'll get to that later. But Victoria Jackson just saying these comments that are off the wall about her opinions on things, that's funny. If you're not taking her seriously, if you're just kind of like, oh, that's just some crazy old woman talking, she's pretty. That's hilarious, because it's totally you can't take this seriously. I don't take it seriously. And she has said some controversial things. Let's see what she says in this article. I'm gonna pull some quotes. And also, too, feel free to comment and talk about this, too. Let's get a little discussion going or something. Okay, let's see. Former Saturday Night Live star and conservative activist Victoria Jackson said on Wednesday that if she were raped, she would have the baby because it would be a blessing. What? So if you get raped, that's a blessing. You feel that's a blessing, getting raped. Now, see, all these people are coming out saying these things, these outrageous things about rape, and Todd Aiken saying what he's saying, but Daniel Tosh had to apologize for what he said. He said that rape is funny. Well, if it's coming out of Victoria's mouth and she's saying it like this, I guess it is. What? What is she? Let's see. Then she goes to say that, noting that she said that the baby has its own DNA and not the DNA of the father. So let me get this straight. So when somebody shoots some DNA in you and so you can make a baby, that's not his DNA. I can't even, that's wrong on like 4 or 5 different levels. I can't even go, the baby's going to have its own DNA. What? What school are they coming from? What church is teaching this? Who? Let's see what else he says. In responding to the HuffPost Gay Voices blog post from a former friend who said he ended their friendship because of her views on homosexuality, Jackson said she doesn't think that people should identify themselves with their sexual life. And I can kind of agree with that. Like if somebody's gay or lesbian, you don't have to wear that like a badge of honor or something like that. I mean, I know you're saying you're out, you're here, you're queer, whatever, but I don't want to say, hey, I'm Bill, I'm gay. I don't. Who cares? I don't think you being gay or being lesbian, that's not something you can put on a resume. All right, or that's not something you should just be human, be who you are, and let the people you're dating find out if you're gay or not. The rest of the world, we don't really coming out to the world and all that, like Frank Ocean and Anderson Cooper and all that. The rest of us don't care. I mean, they're coming out to the world. Who cares? Just tell the guy that you want to have sex with that you're gay, and the rest of us, we don't need to hear all that, and that's not a diss to gay people. What I'm trying to say is this: if you want people to take you seriously, and not, you don't want to be discriminated against and this and that, you don't have to. I think that's kind of weird. I think that's kind of weird in my opinion. That's kind of like somebody that's somebody that has a fetish or something like that. If you have a fetish and it's not one of those fetishes that break the law or anything like that, or something that's kind of real crazy. That's okay if you got your fetish or whatever, but you don't have to go around saying, "Hey, I have a fetish." You don't have to do that. Just so I sort of agree that you can attack me on that if you want to too. Let's see. Then she says that the Todd Aiken thing was blown out of proportion. It was a joke. Of course, that was a joke. Of course, that couldn't have been, But unlike Daniel Todd, she didn't have to apologize. Let's see. How many times do people get pregnant from rape? It's 0.0001%. It's a joke. I read lots of articles. I know people because I'm 53. I've known a lot of people, and I've actually never known anyone to get pregnant from being raped. Okay, that's ridiculous. That people can get pregnant. We already know this. The rest of the world, the people that live on Earth, we know that this. I mean, what about slaves that got raped and had biracial children? Did they not get raped? Or maybe that was just called surprise sex. They weren't getting raped. That was called surprise sex. That's what that was. Sex by surprise. Let's see. And they're saying, well, I don't know anybody that got pregnant from rape, so that means it doesn't happen. That's dumb. That's like saying, I don't personally know any transvestites, but so that means that they don't exist. I mean, look, I don't know any personally, but we know that shims and she-males do exist. I don't have any in my cell phone, and I don't hang out with any, and I don't talk to any. And if I see them in the street, if they're good enough disguising who they are, I probably wouldn't know or think twice. Maybe I'm thinking it's a 6'2" tall woman with the Adam's apple, and not really giving it much thought. But but they do exist, So Victoria just saying, well, I don't know anybody that does that. That doesn't mean anything, Let's see what else she got here. What else did she say? And guess what? She continued. If I got raped, I would have the baby. Already read that. Okay, let me keep it moving. Oh yeah, okay. And she said if I didn't want to keep it because I had these horrible nightmares. See, the person says mocking tone, horrible nightmares. Like, people that get raped, I've never been raped. And I don't plan on, I don't want to go to prison and find out how that's like as a man. And for women, I know that's got to be a traumatic experience. Victoria is pretty much is downplaying rape. Kind of like, for those people who get raped, get over it. I mean, that's insensitive. I don't know anybody. Well, if I know somebody personally that's been raped, they have not shared that information with me. And if they did, I wouldn't say, oh, those horrible nightmares you have, oh, you'll get over it. Come on. Just, I mean, that's Victoria is like I said, she talks out of pocket, Let's see. What else did she say here? And if I got raped and a beautiful baby who was innocent was born out of it, that would be a blessing. The DNA of a baby is an individual. It's not the mother's DNA. It's not the father's DNA. And that's why I believe abortion is murder, because it's not the woman's body. It has its own DNA. If there's a boy baby inside of me, he has a penis, that's not my body. I'm not even going to put anything. I'm not even going to put a comment to that. You got to hit up the message board and say your own thing with that, because that's. Come on, Vicky. Come on. Yeah. This should be somebody should mock Victoria Jackson on Saturday Night Live. It could have been Abby Elliott, but she's not coming back. I'm pretty sure Abby Elliott would do a great Victoria Jackson impersonation. Well, actually, she did do a great Victoria Jackson impersonation. She was surrounded by people who got more airtime than her, and well, actually, Vicky got more airtime than Abby during her stint. Well, you know where I was going with that. Let's see, what else did Vicky say? What else did Victoria Jackson say? In response to Gay Voices blogger Dan Stedman's post, in which he wrote about ending his friendship with both Jackson and Kirk Cameron because of their views on homosexuality, Jackson discussed her gay friends. I didn't see it, but that's me trying to do Victoria Jackson. But I love but I love my gay friends. Her voice is way too high. I can't do that. I can't match it. It's kind of high pitched, whiny. I can't do it. You know how she sounds. My best friends who are gay, I've actually never seen them with a boyfriend. It's like we never talk about it. We never talk about sex. I don't think people should identify themselves with their sexual life. My identity is with Christ. Some people's identity is what is in the country they came from. Now you're gonna start thinking I don't know how to read now. I stumble over words. I'm just talking, but I don't think people should make their identity about their sex life. That should be private. Why are they in the middle of the street in a parade? Why don't they just have sex in their bedroom alone? Okay, I kind of see where she's going with that one. I get what she's saying. You guys can be gay. You guys can be gay all you want. I just don't want my kids to see it. That's what she's going with that. You guys can you can kiss a man all you want. I just don't want you to kiss a man in front of my son. Because I don't want to have to explain that later. Mommy, why is he? And even little kids that are heterosexual know something's wrong with that. But I'm not saying anything's wrong. I'm gonna be PC here. I'm not saying anything's wrong with gay people. I don't want gay people to attack me. I want people to attack what Victoria Jackson is saying. And but I guess I kind of see what she's saying with that. I don't know if a gay person will be empathetic with that, but still, you guys know how society is. And basically, I just wanted to talk about what Victoria Jackson was talking about in the Huffington Post. Feel free to drop your comments. What do you think about what she said? Do you think it's crazy? Do you think it makes sense? You could talk about the rape jokes and that she had, because I'm gonna call them rape jokes. That's even though it wasn't funny, if you want to talk about Todd Aiken, you could express that in the comments. And that's pretty much what I want to say. I just want to talk about Victoria Jackson and her talking reckless again. And again, this is the SNL podcast. I'm some guy named Jay. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.